and welcome to episode 107 of the Stress Knits podcast. My name is Stacy, also known as Stress Knits Yarn on Instagram and Stress Knits over on Ravelry. Today is March 7th, 2020. I'm coming to you from a very sunny, almost spring-like southeastern Michigan and Metro Detroit, where I live with my husband Doug, our daughter Eliza, and our pug Esther. So Doug is currently sleeping. He has been working around the clock for the past few days, so he is sleeping. Eliza is going down for a nap, and I thought I would sit down and record because I have a lot of things to talk about, not so much making, but upcoming making, a knit-along announcement, and so distracted. A knit-along announcement, a little bit of making, and a shop update, because I'm having a huge shop update on Monday. But we'll talk about that at the very end so that if you're not interested, you don't have to listen to it. So let's start off with how are you? I'm good. I am enjoying plants a lot right now. I haven't had coffee yet today. I'm going to go get it after this. I'm very excited about it. But I put a shelf up right above where the camera sits, and I have just like a bunch of plants sitting on top. I'll show you two. This one is one of my favorite. It's a peperomia, and it's called Frost. It's just so beautiful. It's shimmery. I don't know if that picks up on the camera, but it shimmers and it's just so beautiful. So that's making me really happy right now. And the thing that I'm working on, which is quite literally the only thing I've touched this week because I have been dyeing the shop update with, it was almost 200 full skeins and 100 mini skeins that I dyed for this update, and it just took a lot of time. So I was only working on my granny stripe blanket. So if you're new, hi, welcome. Thank you so much for checking me out. I don't normally crochet. It's not something that I reach for. I haven't worked on this blanket since December, and even when I worked on it in December, I only worked on it for like 3 days. And that was putting in one stripe of my Sweet Sparrow advent calendar in every day. That was my goal. And I didn't do that. So usually I'm knitting sweaters, occasionally some socks and hats and shawls, and right now this is really the only thing that I want to work on. It's just a lot of fun to play with color and to see it grow, and it's really easy to pick up and throw down. So let me show you my blanket. So there's a pretty big stark contrast in my blanket because I started this blanket on my honeymoon. Literally, I bought the crochet hook on my honeymoon and crocheted, and I started it. This is what I started. So it holds that sentimental value. So the beginning of the blanket, this part, is a little bit more crazy because I wasn't really picky about what I was putting in my blanket. I just wanted to work on it. And then once you get to this black row, it starts to turn into more of my style right now. And it's already making me excited for my next one. My next one I'm already planning. I want it to be the same kind of vibe of Jacqueline of Brooklyn Knit Folk, where she's doing a lot of color management. It's not full rows all the time. There are pops of color. I don't know. It's just beautiful. It's mostly neutrals, and yeah, it's absolutely beautiful. My vision for this, though, is for it to be like the sleepover blanket when Eliza's older and all of her friends want to have this when they're sleeping, right? Did you all have that special blanket at home that when your friends would come over, that was what they slept with, or if you went over to a friend's house, there's a certain blanket you wanted. I want this to be it. So, it's a lot bigger than the last time you saw it. So here it is right now. It is the length of it's just over the length of a queen size bed. So when we were on our honeymoon, we went to New York and we had a queen bed, and I literally just looked up how to crochet a granny stripe blanket because I didn't understand. I kind of knew how to do things, but I didn't quite get it. So I just watched a video. I don't even remember what the video was because that was 2017. And yeah, I just kind of wung it. But I know there's like an Attic 24 pattern that a lot of people follow, so I'll link that below. But I literally just chained the amount that I needed for the chain to slightly go over the edges of a queen size bed, and that is what this is. So it's quite large. It takes me about 40 minutes to chain across the whole row because I'm pretty slow, but here we are. So this section is making me really happy. Most of this yarn is Sweet Sparrow yarn, and there's like a pop of Volanvine, this really beautiful minty green. It's her Succulents colorway, and there's also some stress knits. I found the few skeins I dyed for myself for my 2018 advent calendar, and I've been throwing those in, which is a lot of fun. So here it is. The last time you saw it, where's my little progress keeper? It's right here. Last time you saw it, I was just starting this pink row, and that's how much I've done, which doesn't feel like a lot, but again, I've been working a lot this week. Yeah, but this cute little progress keeper is from the Sweet Sparrow advent calendar, and it's a little pine cone. It's just so adorable and lovely. Also, Julie Sweet Sparrow Yarns has listed her advent calendars for 2020 in her shop, and you should check that out because it is my favorite. Yeah, so there's my blanket, and it makes me happy. Yeah. And that's really all I worked on. I did put a few rows in on my Cozy Classic Raglan, so I will show you that. So here we are. I changed it to a 16-inch needle just because it's easier, but I'm just working away on the Raglan. I do a row here and there when I can. Again, I'm going to whip stitch this down. A bunch of you messaged me and told me different techniques to do this. The whip stitch is easy and it goes pretty quickly, so I think that's what I'm going to do, but next time I do a fold over neckline, I'm definitely going to look into those techniques. So thank you for everyone who suggested something different. Yeah, so that is the other thing that I'm kind of working on. Yes, so let's jump into the knit along. I've been wanting to host a knit along for a while now, but I just couldn't figure out what I wanted to do, if there was going to be a theme, if I was going to pick a specific pattern, because I love knit alongs where everyone is knitting the exact same thing. I think it's fun to see how people modify it to work best for them, what colors they use, what yarns they use. It's a lot of fun. So I wanted to pick a pattern that A, a lot of people could knit, so it's size inclusive, and B, had modifications inside the pattern to help you make it a wearable garment, something you're going to actually want to reach for. And so one sweater popped into mind, and that is Rift by Jacqueline Cieslak. I don't know if I'm pronouncing her last name correctly, but all of this will be linked in the description below. I have the pattern page up so I can tell you a lot about this pattern. So it is a tee pattern. Now, I know not everyone is into knitting t-shirts, but there's also a modification for long sleeves. So if you would prefer a more traditional sweater with long sleeves, you can knit that. It is in the pattern. But I really want a knitted tee, but a lot of patterns have lace on the bottom. So like the Mount Pleasant, the Tanya, the Maritimo, all of them have lace at the bottom, and it's just not my style. It's super cute and I love it on other people, but I won't wear it. It's not my style. So this is a very simple boxy t-shirt, which I love. I love a good boxy knit. Yeah, it is knit bottom up. It looks like there's a split hem, so you will start the front and start the back and eventually join them together. So if you've knit like the Weekender, it's a very similar start. Yeah, there are 2 neckline options, so a crew neck or a V-neck. There is a custom fit bicep, which I think is really interesting, and optional bust darts. So this is a garment that is designed to fit you perfectly. Now let's talk about measurements, because that is also important. This is sized finished measurement sizes. So not full bust sizes, this is a finished measurement sizing. So it is a 40-inch to a 72-inch finished garment, and it is meant to have 6 to 12 inches of positive ease, which is so exciting because I love a good oversized garment. It's what I like. As you can tell, I enjoy that. Yes, so that is very exciting, and she also gives you some helpful tips on picking the right amount of ease for your bust. So like for me, I want a little bit more positive ease, so I'm probably going to knit between the 52 and the 56 inch circumference. Yeah, to give myself a nice a nice loose boxy top that I can wear over dresses or tuck into jeans. Yes, and the other really exciting thing is, because it is a t-shirt, there is not a lot of yarn required. For the smallest size, the yarn requirements are 550 yards through the largest size, which is 1,025 yards. So I feel like it's a really great cost-effective knit that everybody can do. And the really cool thing is, on the pattern page, she gives you price points. Like if you have a lower budget for this object and you don't want to go into your stash or anything like that and you would like to purchase yarn, she gives you options that would be great for this garment. So like Knit Picks Cotton, Barocco Remix, and then there is the midline budget and the higher end budget. She knit this out of Little Fox Yarn Linea, so it does recommend a linen, some form of linen blend yarn. I am not doing that. I am knitting it in 100%, well not 100%, I'm knitting it in superwash wool. So I definitely think that this is something that you can modify to fit, again, what you will reach for, what you will wear, what you will enjoy knitting. So I think that that's a lot of fun. And I think that's really all I wanted to talk about. It does call for sport weight yarn, but I will say a lot of sport weight is very similar to heavier fingerings. So think of a fingering weight yarn that has closer to 400 yards rather than like the 437 or 468 or whatever that number is. So look for yarn that is plumper. I'm going to close the door because Eliza's settling in for her nap. When Eliza goes down for her nap, she lays down on her stomach and she covers her eyes and she just kind of whines for about 10 minutes and then she's out. So that's what she's doing right now. I didn't want to be distracting. So Yes, so I will put this out there that if anybody wants to use Stress Knits yarn, you will get a double entry for this. Yes, and I would recommend using my favorite base, or if you would like to do a custom order, please reach out through the contact form on my website, and I will get that out to you by the end of the month. So, or beginning of April, end of March, beginning of April, depending on when you order. So, yes, and this is also calls for a size 8 needle, which is a pretty loose gauge. And honestly, I think it'll be good. I might go down to a 7, see how my gauge is there. I will be using my sport weight base, which is 100% superwash merino, 328 yards. I believe that's the correct number. Yeah, so that's what I will be doing, and I will be using the colorway Grubby. So it is just a pretty light pink with dark gray speckles. So that's what I will be using. This knit along runs from the first day of spring, which is March 19th, through the first day of summer, which is June 20th. I think it's the perfect tee. I don't know, I'm so excited. But remember, if you prefer sleeves, you can knit sleeves, and there are instructions to do so. I'm so excited for this knit along. I hope you are too. I've been wanting to knit this tee since it came out last June, I believe. I love it so much. Okay, so I'm going to close this so I'm not distracted by that anymore. So yeah, so let me know if you're interested. I will open a chatter thread over on my Ravelry group, and then when we get closer to June, I will put up a finished objects thread, which will be no chatter. And if you use Stress Knits yarn, just post twice. And that's it. So we'll talk about it more as the weeks go along, as we get closer to the start date. So the start date is a little over a week away. Yes, so I'm very excited about it. I can't wait to cast on. It's gonna be great. So with that, let's talk about shop update. So if you are not interested in the shop update, thank you so much for watching. I hope to have more content for you soon. And if you would like to hear about what's going in the shop, let's chat. So first things first, I've had a lot of messages about my advent calendar for 2020. And yes, I'm doing it. There's this dog that gets walked just about every day in our neighborhood, and her and Esther do not like each other very much, so they're barking at each other right now. It's fine. Yeah, they're already done. Okay. So 2020 advent calendar. Yes, I am doing it. Now, I will put this disclaimer out there that this is possibly the last one I'm doing for a while. Now, I know. I don't know yet. That's not 100% firm, but I guess some life news too. I'm looking into a grad program, which is something I've been looking into for like 2 years now. And it is a very rigorous grad program. It's a few years long, and they make you do full-time if you do this program. So it really depends on if I get in, when I get in. Yeah, so I have to do a lot to apply for the winter semester next year. Yeah. So that is what I'm working on right now. That's another thing that's taking up a lot of my time. Yeah, so in case people are wondering, it's for school counseling and clinical counseling. It's a dual certification / master's for that, so I can be a licensed counselor and work in schools or be a private therapist, those are two things that I've really wanted to do, and I didn't know there was an option to do both until recently. So yeah, that is what I'm pursuing, and I'm really excited about it. But if I get into this program, I don't know how much time I will have to put an advent together for 2021, because it is a full-time gig. And yeah, that's gonna have to come first because it's gonna cost a lot of money. I just put that out loud. Okay, so it's real. Anyway, yes, but 2020, there will be an advent calendar. Hopefully it's not my last, but there's a real possibility that it will be for at least a little bit. Yes, so the first round is going up April 16th. I will post about it more on Instagram, and there will be 2 rounds of posts. So I will post in April and again in June, and then I will start dyeing yarn in July. Yeah, so that's the Advent news. And then shop update. I'm having a shop update Monday, March 9th at 7 p.m. Eastern time, because daylight savings is happening on Sunday. Boo. So, yes, 7 p.m. Eastern on Monday. I have a lot going into the shop. So first I'm going to show you mini sets because I have mini sets. There's going to be a little bit of crinkling. A little bit. Okay, so the first mini set is the Stress Knits Essentials set. So this has Dusk, Figgy, Bell Jar, Sweet Disposition, and I Smell Snow. So that is mini skein bundle number 1. Mini skein bundle number 2 are the blues and grays. So we have Mom Jeans, there's hair, Betty, Slate, Perfectly Adequate, and Etching. I'm just going to put these here. Next I have the Pinks set, which is My Jam, Eloise, Prudence, Grubby, and Palm Lines. And then the last set is the one that I'm the most excited about this time. I've been very into mints and greens lately, which I don't mind at all. But this is the mint green set. So we have Moment, which is an exclusive mini skein colorway, Pillow Mint, No Trail to Follow, Eucalyptus, and Mountain Mama. It's just the happiest little set. This would be such a good, what's it called? So Faded sweater. This would be gorgeous. So, yes, that is everything in the mini section. And then, oh, I forgot to talk about this. So, I am switching over to recyclable mailers. I'm very excited about this change. I was on the fence about it for a long time because they're much more expensive to buy, but I just want to do more with packaging. So I wanted to use something that's one, reusable and also recyclable. So these are from Eco Enclose. No secret, it's right there. It's great because it's 100% recycled and you can recycle it and also reuse it. So there is one tab, and then, which is the one that I will be using on your package. And then there is the second tab. So when you open this, this part comes off, and then you can use this again, which is just so cool. So if you don't want to recycle it, you can reuse it, which is just so, it's great. So I'm really excited about it. I won't be raising my prices anytime soon because I really like where they're at, honestly. But if wool goes up again, I'm going to have to. But this is something that's important to me, so I'd rather my profit margin be a little bit smaller than just using plastic mailers that cannot be recycled. Yeah, so this was something that was super important to me, and I'm so glad I'm finally doing it. I do, those pink mailers right back here are the only ones that I have left besides the huge mailers that I have that I send like advent calendars out in. But everything right here is all I have left of my non-recyclable mailers. So that's really exciting. So some of you with the new update might get the rest of these, but once those are gone, I will not be purchasing those again, and I will just continue to purchase the ones from Eco Enclose. So that is that news. And then I have the giant laundry basket of yarn. So I'm going to put it on my little stool. Let's talk about what is going into the shop. Again, the shop update is Monday, March 9th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. So first off, have Ophelia, which is a light pink with green speckles on Favorite. I have a new colorway, which is from the advent calendar last year. It is called Stay Home, also on Favorite. I have Succulents on Favorite. Figgy on Favorite. Sweet Disposition on both Favorite and Single. No Trail to Follow on Favorite and DK. I love the way this came out on DK. It's absolutely beautiful. Have I Smell Snow on Halo, which is Mohair Silk, Favorite, and Single. And if you're new, my favorite base is 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon. My singles base is 100% superwash merino single ply, and DK is 100% superwash merino. Next, I have a colorway that I'm so excited to bring back. It is something that I've been wanting to do for a while, but some dyes changed and I couldn't get it to look quite right, so I altered the recipe just a little bit. I tweaked it a little bit, and now it's perfect. So this is SSDGM, which is my Favorite Murder, part of my My Favorite Murder collection. So this is Stay Sexy and Don't Get Murdered, SSDGM, and I have it on Favorite and DK, which was a total accident. I thought this was my favorite base, and I wasn't paying attention. It was the last colorway I dyed. And I love the way it came out. So it's just this really beautiful pale bluish minty color. I don't really know how to describe it with all of these amazing speckles. Ugh, yes, so DK and Favorite, I'm obsessed. I'm so glad that I figured out a way to dye it where I can do it more and it's more consistent. I also have Bell Jar on Single and Favorite. I have Etching on DK, Single, and Favorite. Eucalyptus on Halo, DK, Single, and Favorite. Have Betty, which is a light blue, on DK. I have Pillow Mint on DK. I have Grubby on Favorite and Single. I have Eloise on DK, Favorite, and Single. I have My Jam on DK and Halo. I'm finally putting up this, which is a white mohair, and it is called Fuzzy. It's called Fuzzy, and I will only have this as an option on Favorite and Cloud, so not Favorite, on Cloud and Halo. So for those of you who would like a nice neutral mohair to hold with something, this is your gal. So this will finally be in the shop. I have Perfectly Adequate on DK and Single, And last but certainly not least, I have Mountain Mama on DK, Favorite, and Single. So that is everything that's going to be in the shop. Everything has sweater quantities. And again, if you don't get a sweater quantity, but you would like something, please message me via the contact form on my website and I will hook you up with a sweater's quantity. So that is it for this week's podcast. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will talk to you next week. Bye!